Sorry about that. Took a second to unmute. Yes, we did.
Okay.
It is Winpei Zhang. Zhang. I'll have her correct my pronunciation of her last name.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And then, Mr. Chair, it is 1 o'clock. Let me just look and see if we appear to have a quorum. We'll, of course, do an official roll call to confirm, but let's see. All right, Mr. Chair, it does appear that we have a quorum, so we'll be ready to get started whenever you are.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the Mag Street Committee. This meeting is called to order at 1 p.m. We will now begin with roll call of all members. Steph, would you please call the roll?
Absolutely. I will go down the list alphabetical by member agency. Raquel Schatz, Apache Junction. Steve O'Brien with ADOT. Raj Thowdam with Avondale. John Willett with Buckeye. John McFarland, Chandler. Jennifer Acuna, FHWA. Christopher Salas, Town of Florence. Susanna Strebel as proxy for David Fabiano, Gilbert. Winpei Zhang as proxy for Randy Proch, City of Glendale.
Present.
Thank you. And did I pronounce your name okay there?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Harvell from City of Goodyear.
Present.
Thank you. Keith Janaski, Litchfield Park.
Present.
Thank you. Scott Nodes with Maricopa.
Present.
Thank you. Angela Macaluso with McDOT.
Present.
Thank you. Maria Angelica Deeb, City of Mesa.
Present.
Thank you. Jerry Cooper, Paradise Valley.
Here.
Thank you. Charles Andrews, City of Peoria.
Present.
Leticia Vargas, City of Phoenix. John
Here.
Kraft. Oh,
Here.
thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, Leticia. John Kraft as proxy for Christopher Wanamaker, Pinal County.
Yes, good morning. I'm here.
Good morning. Thank you. Brad Novacek, Town of Queen Creek. Jennifer Jack, Salt River Pima, Maricopa Indian Community.
Present.
Thank you. Nathan Domi, City of Scottsdale.
Present.
Thank you. Dana Oswiani, City of Surprise.
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm here, and I just wanted to announce that I'll be retiring April 1st. So I think this might be my last meeting with everybody. It's been fun working with everyone, and
congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Steele, City of Tempe.
Present.
Gabriel Elias as proxy for Jamie McCracken, City of Tolleson. Grant Anderson, Town of Youngtown.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You are present. I will note that. And is there anyone I missed during the roll call?
Yes, this is Raj Thornton from City of Avondale.
Thank you, Raj. Anyone else?
Aaron Pinkerton, proxy for Town of Gilbert.
Who was that? Aaron Pinkerton?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
John Willett, City of Buckeye.
Thank you, John. Got you. All right, Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum.
I'm sorry, this is Brad Novacek, Town of Queen Creek. I have to click like 4 buttons to unmute my mic.
All right, Brad, we got you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a quorum, so this meeting of the Mag Street Committee is called to order. As a reminder, please mute your microphone to eliminate any feedback. You will have the opportunity to raise your hand in the chat to be recognized, at which time you can unmute your microphone to talk. When you begin speaking, please state your name and your organization. Agenda item number 2 is the call to the audience. MAG provides the opportunity for the public to comment on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda or that are on the agenda for discussion and not for an action. Members of the public are invited to submit written comments via the MAG website. Any comments received 2 hours prior to the meeting have been shared with committee members in advance of the meeting for consideration and will be included in the meeting minutes. Staff, have you received any online written comments for the call to the audience?
Mr. Chair, we did not receive any written comments for the call to the audience or any other items on the agenda. A public comment report was sent out prior to the meeting stating those exact facts.
You.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3 is the MAG Transportation Funding Program Manager's report. Patrick Stone will provide the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Street Committee. Pleasure to be here. Welcome to 2024, first committee meeting of 24. Thank you to Chair Christo for leading the committee, Vice Chair Domi, and then also to Angela from the Maricopa County for serving as the chair for the past 2 years. Appreciate all of your efforts. A couple of updates. One I'm going to kind of append based on some feedback. Closeout requests for fiscal year 2024 have been completed. They were approved by MAG Regional Council on January 31st. We did send notification out to member agencies acknowledging that that action had taken place. In addition, this year, we did also have been working with ADOT to let them know where we were in the closeout process, hopefully to expedite any sorts of amendments to agreements that your agencies may have. One special note, closeout requests for street sweepers were approved as well. Those have an additional step because of a funding adjustment we make. We cannot use federal funding for street sweepers because of a Buy America issue. So MAG staff uses the month of February to actually adjust that funding so that we can use non-federal sources. We're doing that right now, going through the committee process with that update. Once completed at the end of the month on the 28th, we will have that done. And then Dean Giles, who's with our air quality section here at MAG, will then reach out to each agency and give them next steps as part of a notice to proceed. Another item I want to call attention to, starting tomorrow, John Bullen, Chief Transportation Officer here at MAG, is going to do a Prop 479 implementation overview and roadmap presentation, excuse me, to both Management Committee, TPC, and Regional Council this month. If you get an opportunity, certainly stay tuned, check in to see that presentation. But in light of that, I will actually be preparing and presenting that same agenda topic, next month at Street Committee. So Ms. Oceani, yes, we will have a Street Committee in March, so we'll certainly have an opportunity to recognize your efforts and participation. And then one final item, and sort of a big item, Ms. Kassler and myself are going to begin working on the end of the Prop 400 funded arterial lifecycle program. To that end, we are going to be reconvening the working group that got together last fall to discuss federal fund advancement. So we're going to be starting to engage the working group to have conversations about what the end of the Prop 400 funded ALCP looks like, share some thoughts, certainly get a lot of feedback from member agencies with the intent, once we have that, to take that through the committee process to become a formal update to those policies and procedures. And with that, Mr. Chair, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is the approval of the meeting minutes from the Street Committee meeting held on December 12th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 12th, 2023? And please state your name and agency.
Anderson, Youngtown, I move to approve.
Thank you, Grant. Can I have a second?
Yes, I'm John Kraft, second the motion. Pinal County.
We have a motion. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. We will have those participating in the meeting online take place in a voice vote by turning on their cameras and unmuting their audio. We need to see the faces of everyone to participate in the voice vote. This is to speed up the voting process. For those who cannot or do not wish to turn on their cameras, staff will conduct a roll call vote. Staff will only call on those virtual participants who did not turn on their camera. Members, please leave your cameras on until after the roll call vote so that the staff can count the people's names whose cameras are not on. Staff, can you take a roll call of the members participating virtually who do not turn on their camera?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. You first need to call for the voice vote for those in favor. Apologies if we skipped that from your chair agenda.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's
so can
okay.
I have so you need a roll call?
So you'll call for a voice vote, all members to vote aye, and then those opposed, then I will do the roll call for those who did not turn on their cameras.
Okay. So can all members say aye, turn on your cameras and say aye for the approval of the meeting minutes of December 12th, 2023?
Aye.
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 All right, thanks, Mr. Chair. And then any call for anyone who was opposed as well.
Was there anybody opposed to the approval of the meeting minutes? Please say nay.
All right, thanks, Mr. Chair. I will now do a roll call vote for those who did not turn on their cameras. Just a handful of people, not in any particular order. I'll go by what was on my screen. Charles Andrews.
Aye.
Thank you. Winpei Zhang.
Abstain.
Abstain, thank you. And then Brad Novacek.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 5 on the agenda is the ALCP status report, which will be presented by Carrie Kassler, MAG Transportation Planner. This item is on the agenda for information and discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and hello, members of Street Committee. As he said, my name is Carrie Kassler, and today I will be presenting on the Arterial Life Cycle Program status report for July through December of 2023. So this report provides a snapshot of what is currently going on in the ALCP and how the program is doing. So next slide, please. So as a reminder, the ALCP provides regional funding to widen existing streets, improve intersections, and construct new arterial segments. Additionally, the ALCP policies and procedures requires a status report be produced twice a year. So this report is for the first half of fiscal year 2024. Next slide, please. Here's an overview of the revenue and finances. The Regional Area Road Fund, or RARF, is a portion of the half-cent sales tax allocated to the ALCP. In addition, federal funds allocated to MAG are also set aside for the ALCP. I wanted to highlight that actual RARF collections were 3% higher than estimated collections, which is always great news. Slide, please. As shown, there are 59 projects in varying stages of the process, whether that be design, construction, or reimbursement. Notably, there are 14 projects that are set to open to traffic, which is a great achievement. Even as the ALCP winds down towards its close in 2026, there is still a lot of activity going on and projects still in progress. The lower right corner of the screen shows the planned reimbursement and obligations for fiscal year 2024. Next slide, please. Here are the fund balances for both RARF and federal funds within the next couple of years as we wind down the ALCP, as I said previously. As shown, there's still quite a bit of federal funding available, so this allows for some flexibility and opportunities for things like federal fund advancement, which has been sent out to the ALCP working group and intergovs, and the advancement request forms will be due March 7th of 2024. Please feel free to reach out if you would like more information on that. Next slide, please. Included in your agenda packet is detailed information about projects underway under tables 3, 4.1, and 4.2. So if you have any questions or want more details about any of those projects, you can find that information there. Next slide, please. Each status report, we like to highlight an ALCP project from the region, and this cycle we're highlighting the city of Peoria for their project at El Mirage Road from Loop 303 to Jomax Road. Regional travel demand models identify a continuous connection between Loop 303 and Jomax Road is needed to provide better access and to relieve congestion. Again, more information on this project is provided in that report, but we'd just like to highlight some of the projects within the program. Next slide, please. So this item is simply for information and discussion, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. But thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Carrie. Does anybody have any comments or questions about that? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 6 on the agenda, which is the ALCP project change process overview, which will also be presented by Carrie Kassler, MAG Transportation Planner. This item is on the agenda for information.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As he said, the Arterial Life Cycle Program project change process overview. This is just giving a little bit of background on this process and why it's important. Next slide, please. So as I just said in my other presentation, the ALCP serves as the financial management tool for the arterial component of the RTP and is guided by the policies and procedures, which were last approved by Regional Council on October 25th of 2023. Next slide, please. So those policies and procedures require that all requests to change a project scope or substitute a project in the ALCP must be presented to the street committee for a technical review and a recommendation. Next slide, please. A project change summary is included with each request, and this summarizes the current and planned features, the project budget, and cost estimates. This also requires an evaluation with the ALCP project change tool, which evaluates the projects based on 9 criteria. It is important to note that any proposed substitute project must meet ALCP project eligibility criteria. Next slide, please. Here's an overview of the technical review and what the agencies will present on. And that includes an overview of the proposed project as well as the existing project, an explanation as to why the original project is no longer feasible or was deemed not feasible, details on how the change will relieve congestion and improve mobility, and the results of the project change tool analysis. Next slide, please. So that is really it. I was just giving an overview of the process, and if there are any questions about it, I'm happy to answer them, but otherwise, thank you again for your attention.
Thank you, Carrie. Does anybody have any questions for Carrie? Seeing none, item number 7 on the agenda is the ALCP project change technical review for Mountain Road, State Route 24 to Pecos Road in the city of Mesa, and will be presented by Patrick Stone, the MAG Transportation Planner. This item is on the agenda for information, discussion, and possible action.
Thank you, Chair Christo, members of the Street Committee. Pleasure again to be here. As noted in Carrie's prior presentation on the project change process overview, we have a specific requirement when a member agency is looking to update projects within the ALCP. We did receive one request during this annual update cycle from the city of Mesa, and their request is for Mountain Road, as noted prior, from State Route 24 to Pecos Road. And with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Maria Angelica Deeb with the city of Mesa. Maria?
Thank you, Patrick. Next slide, please. Good afternoon, members of the Street Committee. I'm Maria Angelica Deeb, Transportation Projects Coordinator, and I'm here on behalf of the City of Mesa Transportation Department. The mission in transportation is to serve the public by planning, designing, operating, and maintaining a high-quality multimodal transportation system for the City of Mesa, so that its residents, visitors can move safely, effectively, and efficiently through the transportation network. Next slide. In order to achieve our mission, we manage very carefully Mesa's ALCP projects. The ALCP project's purpose is to expand Mesa's network, and we include in their scope capacity improvements, safety improvements, and projects or components related to capacity and safety improvements, including ITS or Intelligent Transportation Systems, signals, lightings, and much more. We define and maintain our ALCP relevant by monitoring and addressing safety, keeping up with development, and the current environment of the city. Next. In order to expand Mesa's network and keep up with development, we are wanting to fund Mountain Road. Currently, Mountain Road is in the ALCP, but is just not funded. This is included in our CIP as CP 1136. The scope of this CIP project is to fully build out to 4 lanes from SR 24 to Pecos, address drainage issues, and finish up improvements deferred by developments. In a review of 5-year crashes, we only found 1 incapacitating crash. We estimate funding this with transportation funds as well as in lieu or developer paid fees. The estimated cost, including design, is $9.9 million, and the design includes curb, gutter, and sidewalks. We anticipate design being completed in 24-25, and construction funding and fiscal year of work is still to be determined. Our projected operations and maintenance cost is $31,000 per year. Next. Chrisman Road, Broadway to Guadalupe. As it stands now, all the improvements for Chrisman Road between Broadway and Guadalupe roads will be developer-led projects. Chrisman Road at the end of build-out will be 4 to 6 lane arterials with curb, gutter, sidewalks, and street lights when fully built. As mentioned before, this is going to be a developer-led project. Because of this, we're requesting that the LCP funds programmed to this project be allocated to the Mountain Road project, which I previously discussed. In our review, we found no crashing. Next. Using the ALCP project change tool, we can find the following. Chrisman Road quantitative score is 0.3 and qualitative score is 0.4. For Mountain Road is 0.15 and qualitative is 0.4. We think that the difference in quantitative score is due to the length, not the importance of the project. Next. The action the City of Mesa requests is that this be for recommendation to be included as a project change in the draft of fiscal year 25 ALCP. And with that, I open it to any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Deep? Oh, sorry.
That's okay, Bryce. This is Angela from McDOT. I do have, I guess I'm a little confused on this based upon what you've presented. I can't really comment on the fact that Mountain's already in the ALCP, but I mean, Mountain Road is a collector roadway. It's not an arterial, and so I'm a little confused of why we're considering it for ALCP funds. And can you speak towards the regional significance that this roadway is going to be providing? Because I mean, McDOT owns north of Williams Field and we don't consider it a regional roadway. So I'm confused on the disconnect there. Can you just provide what regional significance the improvement's going to have or the impact on the region, not just on the City of Mesa?
Angela, it is included in the LCP, and for us, there's quite economic development there, and is basically the growth that has been experienced in that has been because of SR 24, and we continue to provide we see it as very important, not only for the city, but also for the economic development of all the region.
I know, can you explain what economic development specifically on the alignment? If the committee is going to approve funds to go from Chrisman Road, which is an arterial roadway, to Mountain Road, what exactly is it that it's serving the region? Not just that it is. Like what is it? I guess I'm just a little confused, and there wasn't anything provided. And on Chrisman, the whole reason why you guys wanting to move the funds was because it was still developer led or will be developer led. But on Mountain, you're saying that you received developer funds, which is indicating that there's development on the corridor that can contribute to the roadway as opposed to using regional funds. Is there a reason why there's not additional in lieu fees that could cover some of the improvements?
So we have already received some developer fees, but in order to fully build out Mountain Road, as I said, to 4 lanes and to address the drainage issues, we are wanting to complete Mountain Road.
Okay. I guess just based upon your presentation and the information that you provided, we at the county consider, and I've talked to a couple different people on our management team, we consider Mountain a collector roadway, and based upon what's going out there, it seems like it's serving just for the city of Mesa. And until we've had additional information, that's kind of the position that we have on this roadway in terms of transferring funds.
Thank you.
Anderson, I also have a question.
Of course, Grant.
I have a similar question. It says that you're deferring, or that the projects have been deferred. So why do you need to expand the road if the developer's projects that would pay for it are being deferred? So what drives the need for the road ahead of development?
No, so when development happens, they can choose to improve the roadway or to defer it until the city constructs it and use the in lieu fees we have received. That is what I meant by the developers when they built their deferred their roadway improvements until the city was going to build out the road. Now that we are wanting to do it and we include it in the CIP and ALCP, we're going to use those developer fees that they paid us because they chose to defer the roadway improvement. We are going to use that together with our transportation funds to fund the Mountain Road project.
But without the development, what drives the need?
So there is, so if you can go back to the slide, Patrick. Yeah, there's currently work being done on Pecos. We are just doing the Signal Butte and Meridian, as Angela alluded, is McDOT's, and we are closely to SR 24. All that area is developing, and to provide a safe network for that part of the city, we are going to build this roadway up to 4 lanes, including curb, gutter, and sidewalk.
Just to clarify, McDOT does not own Meridian in this location, just to be clear.
Okay.
So how do the citizens along Chrisman Road feel about the fact that their road's not going to be improved? Because that's already built up.
So as I mentioned before, Chrisman is going to be built, but it's going to be built by developers. And we estimate, based on the plans we have received, that Chrisman Road between Broadway and Guadalupe will be built in 5 years. And if you go back to that slide, it says there that it will be developer-led, and based on the information that I have with development services, they estimate that it will be built within 5 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, do we want to bring this to a vote, Patrick?
Yeah, Bryce, my apologies. Mr. Chair, members of Street Committee, there was an error in the Street Committee chair agenda packet. So yes, this item is up for possible recommendation to include in the draft 2025 FLCP. So we would follow the procedure just like we did for the approval of the minutes.
Okay, can we have a motion? Is there a motion to approve or to to include the proposed project change in the draft fiscal year 2025 ALCP.
Yes, John Kraft, Pinal County, I motion to approve.
Thank you, John. Can I have a second?
This is Brad Novacek, Town of Queen Creek. I second.
Okay, so we're going to go to the voice vote. So we'll have all those participating in the meeting online take part in the voice vote by turning on their cameras and unmuting their audio. And we need to see the faces of everyone to participate in the voice vote. So go ahead and turn your cameras on now, and then everybody will say aye that agrees to the adding of this project change to the draft 2025 ALCP.
Aye.
All members in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Okay, the motion passes.
Mr. Chair, I do need to conduct a roll call vote for just a few members. Charles Andrews.
Aye.
Thank you. Wenpei Zhang.
Aye.
Thank you. Keith Drenaski. And Leticia Vargas. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. This motion does pass with one nay vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to abstain on this one. I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute or turn my camera on. I apologize.
Oh, thanks, Leticia. Noted.
Thank you.
And this is Brad Novacek, Town of Queen Creek. Even though I second it, I will also vote aye.
Oh, thank you, Brad. Apologies.
Item number 8 is a request for future agenda items. Are there any requests from membership for an item on a future agenda? Hearing none, move on to item number 9, which are comments from the committee. Are there any comments or announcements from the membership? Hearing none, I think we're ready for the adjournment of the meeting. It's 1:32 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.